The following KQED production was produced in high definition.
Calories.
Wow, it rocked my world.
It just kind of reminded me of like a boot camp.
I don't know what you have, but this is great.
It almost felt like sort of country club food to me.
Don't touch it. It's hot.
I gotta tell you, people are getting me excited with all these dishes. This is crazy.
This is the hardest part. Trust me, once it's over, no problem. You're making me work.
Hi, I'm Leslie Sabraco. Welcome to Check Please Bay Area, the show where regular Bay Area residents review and talk about their favorite restaurants. We have 3 guests, and each one recommends one of their favorite spots, and the other 2 go check them out to see what they think. This week, stay-at-home new mom, Raji Vatyam, appreciates the diverse vegetarian menu at her pick. With weekly regional specials from all over northwestern India, she enjoys the light take on traditional recipes. And engineering manager, Serdar Yaralan's spot, he takes us to the Ligurian region of Italy where fresh organic ingredients shine. It's the place that revives him after a long, grueling week at work. But first, higher education administrator Ray Caralico's spot offers low lighting, original art, fragrant aromas of lemongrass, and a big bowl of nourishment that's perfect after an hour of yoga. It's called Pomelo, and it's on Church at 30th in San Francisco.
My name is Rolf Bachmann, and I'm the founding partner of Pomelo. At Pomelo, we serve global cuisine with a California touch. If you go out with a group of friends, you usually have the problem that somebody wants Asian food, another person wants Western food. So we try to cover all bases from every cuisine that might appeal to you. Pomelo got started in 1997 when my business partner Emmanuel and I opened the first location on Judah Street, and in May of 2001 we opened the second location on Church Street. We were looking for a name that bridges from the east to the west. Pomelo is the ancestor to the grapefruit that we have in the west. Pomelo is also a symbol of prosperity and good luck. Our most popular dishes at dinner time are the Havana, a Cuban-style fried rice, or the Lanzhou, stir-fried ginger scallion egg noodles, and the Kosamui, Thai-style coconut curry. Pomelo is a casual neighborhood spot where you can have a good value meal that's not overly sophisticated but very approachable with high quality ingredients.
Now, God love you, Ray, an hour of yoga? I mean, I wish I could. Tell us, do you go to Pomelo after every yoga class, or is this just a once-a-week event?
Well, the Monday night class is actually an hour and a half yoga class, so more power to me. And so going to this place is absolutely perfect for me. It is savory nourishment for me. But I think my friends and I have only not gone there once or twice after this particular yoga class.
And what are your favorite dishes when you go to Pomelo?
The 2 dishes that I love the most are probably the first 2 that I ever tried, which was actually at their other location in San Francisco. But
because they have 2. They have one on Judah and one on Church.
Right. So I love this dish that's a starter. It's the Gilroy. And it's called that because it's got fresh garlic on top of sauteed baby bok choy with a little bit of heat from these pepper flakes. And then the Kosamui was the main dish that I got, and it's a big bowl of jasmine rice with coconut curry, Asian long beans, eggplant, squash, straw mushrooms, and then it's also got kaffir lime leaves on it, a wedge of lime, cilantro. Really filling for me.
And very healthy, of course, to give you back those calories after yoga.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a vegetarian, so the kosamui on the menu is described as having chicken, but I always get it with tofu, and it's perfect. Yeah.
And so you just ask your server for that?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, one thing that I like about their menu is anything that's not marked with a little green dot for the vegetarian dish, I always ask, can you make that vegetarian? And they're very good at being, really clear, like, oh, the sauce is already pre-made, or there's already some beef stock in that, so we can't.
I like the fact that there are quite a few dishes for us to try. We actually went there for a brunch. I went there with a big group. My brother-in-law, my sister, my husband, and 3 little kids.
So
That takes up the whole restaurant because
yes,
it's not very
it is. It was really cramped. We got
Yeah.
this one little tiny corner we were sitting in. The thing is, I would say that I had called the day before to say we had little kids in our party.
Right.
And they didn't really warn us to the fact that they didn't have enough high chairs. In fact, they had no high chairs. They only had boosters, and that too without the belt on. But we did carry the little ones, so it was fine. I wish I had good things to say, but I would say except for the dessert, the rest of it was not very remarkable for me. You know, I was really looking forward to the McKenna because it had this macadamia nut brioche, almost like a French toast.
Right.
And I was literally salivating when I went there, but it really fell short, and it was almost really gooey, and it had no flavor whatsoever.
Interesting. And what about you, Serdar? Did you experience that as well? Because we have two very different experiences.
I went there for dinner. I thought it was very good. It had a great atmosphere, wonderful decor. The ambiance was just very relaxing. The whole package just seemed really good to me. To me, it is a very good everyday, neighborhood restaurant where you get good, honest, very delicious food for a very good price. Right. So I had Pacifica, which is basically grilled mahi-mahi, and I started the whole dinner with white wine and herb goat cheese crostini.
This wine would actually go beautifully, now that you're describing it.
I think I did have something very similar to this.
This is a Rueda from Spain, the Great Varieties Verdejo, and actually KQED Wine Club.
KQED Wine Club, yeah, it's a very good wine. So it just went really well with the white wine. I really loved my hors d'oeuvres, and overall, it just seemed like a very good package to me. I really enjoyed the dinner. I enjoyed the environment and just the whole experience that we had over there.
I think it's a small enough place that the food comes very quickly. But I've never been there for brunch, actually. So it sounds like that was either a completely different brunch menu, or I know that they change the menu every season. In fact, when I went, our server told us that they were changing the menu 3 days later.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if maybe either the complete brunch experience is totally different, or if just the menu items were new.
The reason I chose to go for brunch because they had a lot of vegetarian options for brunch. In fact, they had many more.
Right.
So I figured, I think I just missed out on 2 dishes for dinner, and so everything else was
on the brunch menu. What about value? Because
it's very affordable. Yeah, very affordable. In fact, we also had the Bellini. We started with the Bellini, the hibiscus sangria. I think my husband really loved that. It was a non-alcoholic for people who don't want to drink alcohol. And then the other thing I really liked was the otsu, I think it was called. The otsu was a big hit with everybody. It was like a sesame noodle. Have you had that?
I have had that one. Yeah, that one's excellent.
My husband loved it. He was like digging into it, and we all actually ordered that because our dishes kind of felt flat. So
well, and people think of Pomelo as a fusion restaurant. Well, really, the owner, co-owner Ralph Bachman, who's Swiss, says it's not really about fusion. It's about exploring cuisines from all over the world.
Right. And I think that's why the main dishes on the menu are listed as destinations, because it does feel like you can travel to a lot of different cuisine destinations, which I always enjoy. So it never feels like they're trying to cram every flavor onto one plate. You really do get to sample, and I just think that's great.
So Ray, this is your spot, Pomelo. Give us a quick summary.
I love going back there because I can always get savory, delicious, layered, flavored food for a very reasonable price.
And Serdar, if you were in the neighborhood, would you visit Pomelo
I would
again?
definitely visit Pomelo. I thank you for introducing me to Pomelo. It's a very good everyday neighborhood place. I love the food. I love the location, the atmosphere, ambiance. So I really liked it.
And Raji, would you go back to Pomelo? Did you enjoy it?
I'm not so sure if I would go back, but again, if I was in the area and I was really hungry, I would go back for the otsu, and I would go back for the chocolate dessert, which is amazingly good.
Fantastic. If you would like to try Pomelo, it's on Church at 30th Street. The telephone number is 415-285-2257. It's open for dinner every day with brunch on the weekends. Reservations are accepted for parties of 6 or more, and the average tab per person without drinks is around $20. The name of Raji's restaurant pick means elder sister, so it's family style, authentic, healthy vegetarian cuisine, and it's not fancy. It's on Lafayette Street at Washington in Santa Clara, and it's called Didi's.
My name is Daksha Desai. I am a owner and I am cook here at the Didi. I started cooking in 1993 and we make Ayurvedic balanced sattvic food, authentic Indian home style, and use very less oil, butter, cream and spices also, and it is a very balanced diet. Many customers are eating here for 5 days a week because it is healthy food and fresh food. We make every vegetables curries fresh and we don't keep for next day. I offer all 4 weekends different buffets of regional food like Gujarati, Maharashtrian, Rajasthani and Kathiawadi. And now it is so popular that I have to give all 3 days, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Whoever comes to my place, I'm not thinking they are my customer. I'm thinking they are my guests. They come to my home and I want to treat them a very good way. Come, taste and enjoy. You can talk with them.
All right, Raji, speaking for all the vegetarians in the Bay Area, of which I'm not one, this is all vegetarian cuisine.
Yes, it is.
At Didi's, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's really home-style food, made with a lot of care and love. I mean, I know it kind of sounds very sentimental to say something like that, but the food is really great. It's, considering we have so many restaurants in the Bay Area, South Bay, and so many Indian restaurants, I prefer to go to this one. Considering it's, I feel it's healthy, and also the food is not overly greasy, and it's, and it's just good for you food.
Right. And from northwestern India, tell us a little bit about where this food is from, because it is all vegetarian and primarily vegetarian.
Yes, it covers like 3 different states in India, which is from the northwest. Basically, they cover a state called Maharashtra, Gujarat, which is north of that, and then Rajasthan.
Right.
So the food just varies, and every weekend they have a buffet, which is, I would really urge people to go for the buffet so that they can try out different foods, not instead of just going a la carte. Right. They can try different types of food, and they can choose which ones they like best and go back again.
Now, Serdar, did you have the buffet when you went?
I had the buffet, yeah. I really tried to like this restaurant because I normally like Indian food, but just the ambiance and just the way that you serve yourself just didn't do it for me. For example, the stainless steel utensils just kind of reminded me of like a boot camp, mixing all the different flavors and different types of food. I didn't really know what goes where exactly. And
did you know the dishes that you were eating?
At first I didn't know what the names were. Just as I was paying off and leaving, I realized there were name tags.
On the top.
But I did not, no one ever pointed them, and it wasn't real descriptive because those labels are all kind of mixed together. But overall, I think, it's probably a very good, family restaurant.
Now, you're a vegetarian, Ray, so did you have a chance to really explore each of the dishes?
I went there for a dinner, and all I knew of it was that it was an Indian restaurant. I was so happy that it was all vegetarian, and I was so happy when I walked in the front door and there was a sign that said buffet, because I thought, I'm not even going to ask for the menu, I'm just going to dive right in. So I actually, I had no hang-up helping myself onto the stainless steel plate, and I loaded up. So I had a great time.
And what did you have in terms of dishes?
I had a little bit of everything, and actually I was pleasantly surprised because for a buffet, we got some nice table service, water refills, we got the puri, this kind of puffy, crispy bread brought to our table. There was already naan on the table by the time we got through the buffet line, but I got the spinach, I got the chickpeas, 2 different kinds of rice, this like a vegetable biryani, there was a chana masala, mutter paneer. It was, so I really sampled everything that was on that.
Did you have any charts, by the way? Any of the crunchies in the beginning of the meal?
I did not. I think the only thing that, because I was so happy with a hearty buffet, I skipped the green salad and a lot of the kind of starters that were on ice. I went right for anything that I could pile on top of rice, because that's what I really wanted.
But they have quite a lot of chaat.
They do.
Yes.
They do. And the chaat is typically like small plates, so you kind of have that like a starter.
Sort of street food.
Yeah, exactly. It is meant to be like street food. Like to be eaten at the beach typically, right? So they're really yummy. They have tangy flavors, and it's something you just munch on. And then you enter the main course. I know it can be hard for a new person going in there.
I just didn't know what to expect, and maybe that was part of the problem. And when I walked in there,
Because this is no frills, so
Yes,
it's sort of like walking into your aunt or your grandma's
Yeah.
place.
Right.
Very home cooking and authentic cooking.
Definitely. And the steel plates, that's what we all eat in at home.
Yeah.
Is that
It's
right?
very typical for Indian families to eat in a stainless steel plates. I know, I mean, you continue. I'm sorry, you were reminded of a boot camp. But
And it's
reminded of
cheap.
that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really
very
cheap,
cheap.
very
Very cheap,
affordable.
totally
It's cheap.
affordable.
And the shrikant, oh my goodness, you gotta go there. Did you try the shrikant?
I did not. No.
It's the
That's the
yogurt.
dessert.
Yeah, it's so yummy. I mean, it's this strained yogurt, and then you add the spices and saffron in it, and it's made to sit overnight, so it's really thick. And I would pass up on ice cream any day.
And I was thrilled that I could eat everything off the buffet
Right.
without any question at all.
Right.
But honestly, I have to say that although I loved that food, the overwhelming dominant flavor of everything for me was salt.
Oh, was it?
And so I went with a coworker, and kind of in the middle of our conversation, I found myself breaking out into a
Oh
sweat.
my goodness.
Oh, here you go. Gosh.
Yeah, right. And then I realized, all of the complexity of the flavors is probably there, but it was for me masked by the salt.
Oh.
So it kind of crept up on me, and I was surprised.
All right, this is your restaurant, Raji, so you've got to sum it up for us.
Okay, I would say go there if you want to eat really authentic cuisine of India from a certain part of India, which is not available everywhere, and it's really affordable and great service.
All right, Serdar, your experience?
I think, if you're familiar with the food, I can imagine you enjoying the place very well. For me, the ambiance and just kind of the complexities and just the environment seemed a little kitschy to me. I couldn't really make my way through the whole experience very well. So I don't necessarily recommend it, but at the same time, I may have a different opinion if I knew what I was eating, better.
All right, and Ray, what about your thoughts?
I thought if it wasn't such a trek for me to come from San Francisco and go there, I would probably frequent the place more often to really load up on affordable Indian vegetarian food.
If you would like to try Didi's, it's on Lafayette between Washington and Poplar in Santa Clara. The telephone number is 408-261-0568. It's open for lunch every day and dinner Wednesday through Sunday. Reservations are not accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is around $12. Ensconced in European-inspired decor, surrounded by soft lighting and a warm atmosphere, Serdar relaxes at his choice with food that satisfies. It's on 18th at Valencia in San Francisco, and it's called Farina.
My name is Monica Viarengo. We are here at Farina restaurant in San Francisco. Our vision at Farina is to give our patrons a truly Italian experience. Our effort was to create a space that allowed our patrons to feel at home in a contemporary setting. At Farina, everything is daily prepared from scratch. The bread is daily baked, the pasta is daily made. So we buy the freshest ingredients on the local market, and then our chef, Paolo Laboa, is just transformed them in this amazing experience.
It's my first time in America because I work just 30 years in Italy. A lot of recipe, they from my grandma and my mama. I remember my mom that when she cooking, she sing all the time. I'm curious, and one time I said, Mama, why when you're cooking, you sing? Because the food, be happy, and you can feel.
The vision of Farina founders is to give its patron the possibility to travel through Italy, sitting at a table in San Francisco.
Now, Sarah, there are so many Italian restaurants in the Bay Area, but this one specializes in Ligurian cuisine.
Right.
Pesto and focaccia.
Right.
Is that one of the things that draws you there regularly?
Yeah, I love the food. I mean, the food is really authentic, I think. It is really very tasty and brings the best of Italy. And even compared to food that I have in Italy, it really is at par or better.
And they actually bring in so many of the ingredients from
Correct.
Italy.
Yep.
The farina, or the flour that they make the breads and the focaccias from, the pine nuts for the pesto. So it is very authentic.
It's really very good food. I go there because it relaxes me. The atmosphere, the environment, the lighting, it just kind of feels really comfortable to me, and it kind of feeds your soul as much as your stomach, I think.
It is a beautiful spot, isn't it, right?
It's magnificently designed. I thought there was so much to take in, even before any food appeared on the table. Just gorgeous to look at, gorgeous to kind of be in, and I did get that sense of, I would want to stay here a bit more and soak it all
large
up.
communal table and
Absolutely.
wood.
I mean, and all of the details I thought were really thought out. I mean, this large communal table had chairs from a school, but they also had chairs from like an old train. There was a marble table next to my wooden table.
And they actually have the marble sinks, the old marble sinks.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the bar, there was even a big marble cube that holds chilled bottles of water. And I thought, now again, the design of that place, incredibly well thought out.
Yep.
And let's talk about the food, because the food is
food is just
the food.
fantastic.
So what did you have when you were there?
I had these. I had the pansari, which is these beautiful pillows of ricotta cheese and chard and herbs with a walnut pesto. I wanted to try something that was different from a typical pesto that I might get, and that was excellent. I also had a side of zucchini to go with that, and I shared dessert, and I shared also like a flatbread pizza.
Right, which is what they're known for, the focaccia.
Yep, absolutely.
And the Focaccia di Recco is a city in Liguria,
right?
And they make this very unique flat.
Right? Very flat, and it's usually filled with some
almost
cheese.
Like pizza,
it's almost like
cheese,
a filled, and it's very thin crust. It's very flaky, but very very nice and filling and warm.
And Raji, did you have that? You went for brunch
Actually,
again.
we went for brunch, and I was really wanting to try the focaccia, but the thing is, they didn't have that for brunch. But they brought out the regular plain focaccia to begin with. I thought it was a bit salty because they had garnished it with some sea salt on the top. It was a bit salty, but we had a lot of items there.
You just needed to drink some bubbly.
Oh, the mimosas were amazing.
That's all. That cuts the salt.
I had 2 mimosas, and I think everything tastes better after that.
That's right.
That's how I do brunch.
But yeah, we had eggs. We had 2 types of eggs. One was with the truffle butter, which was great, and the other one was with spinach and the poached eggs. So it was great too. And the eggs were great, and the best was the pasta for me.
Right. And it's all handmade. Everything's handmade.
It's all handmade.
That hand-rolled pasta. I mean, my husband couldn't go, and I told him we got to go back for this alone.
Everything is handmade. You can see the chef sometimes making it. Everybody there eventually gets to know you. They are very friendly. They, like you said, service is really outstanding. I think it's one of the best Italian restaurants in the city. I really feel like that's the kind of a Italian restaurant you got to treat yourself to.
But there are also dishes, from steaks to fish to chicken and things like
I actually had filet mignon there. It had
These two don't want to talk about those.
No, they had a filet mignon that was just superb. I mean, it was just very tender, done perfectly to my order. It had a very nice reduction sauce, very flavorful. So I really enjoy every single meal that I have there.
Yeah, and being an Italian wine lover myself, we have to talk about the wine list there because it's quite extensive, all Italian, real focus on again, local wines from Liguria and Italy, and so you get Cinque Terre, you get some beautiful wines like Gattinara from nearby. So, and they serve by the quarter carafe as well as half bottle and glass. So I know that you're a wine lover, Ray. So.
I do love wine, but actually I got derailed by the specialty cocktail, so I didn't make it to the wine list. But the cocktails were delicious.
Yeah,
I mean, amazing to see on the table, wonderful to taste, and paired beautifully with the food. I thought our server did a good job of explaining all of the drink options, including the cocktails and the wines.
All right. Well, Serdar, this is your restaurant, Farina, so give us a quick summary.
Farina is one of those places that I go to almost exclusively when I have a really hard week and I just want to feel home. I feel very comfortable. I know that everybody's going to come up to me, smile, ask me how things are, and take care of me. And because of that, it really has a special place in my heart.
All right, and Ray?
I loved the space, the service, the drinks, and the food, but I just thought it was a little bit too highly priced for me to go back very regularly.
Sure.
All right, and Raji?
I would definitely go back there for brunch more so than dinner because I thought the prices were more affordable for brunch. So, and also they had more vegetarian options. Maybe you should try brunch.
I will.
All right. If you would like to try Farina, it's on 18th between Valencia and Guerrero Streets in San Francisco. The telephone number is 415-565-0360. It's open every day for dinner with brunch on Sunday. Reservations are recommended, and the average tab per person without drinks is around $45. Well, that's it once again. I want to thank my guests on this week's show, Ray Karalico, Raji Vatyam, and Serdar Yerolan. Don't forget to visit our website where you can find photos, recipes, and my notes on the wines I serve to all the guests. On the website, you can tell us about your experience at the restaurants too. And you can view this and every show. There's also a link to the KQED Wine Club. So join us next time when 3 new guests will recommend their favorite spots right here on Check Please Bay Area. I'm Leslie Sabraco, and I'll see you then. Cheers.
Cheers.
This show is available in high definition, Comcast On Demand, and via podcast. For additional information on the restaurants featured, to comment, or to apply to be on the show, go to our website at kqed.org/checkplease.
A KQED HD production.